Oda Nobunaga, possibly the most famous character in all of Japanese history, surely the most well-known samurai. First of the great three unifiers of Japan, he, along with his disciples Toyotomi Hideyoshi and Tokugawa Ieyasu, unified all the islands and territories of Japan into one rule. Oda Nobunaga was born in 1534 under the name Kichiboshi. He was the son of one of the three superintendents of the Owari province. In 1546, he came of age and was given the name Nobunaga. 8 years later, his father Nobuhide dies, and as the eldest son, he succeeds as the head of the Oda clan in the Owari province. His rule was challenged by his uncle, Nobutomo, who Nobunaga defeats in the Battle of Owari. Nobutomo, angry from his first defeat, kills the governor of Owari. The governor of Owari was, in essence, Nobunaga's lord. Nobunaga did not take the murder of his lord lightly. He immediately sent troops to Kiyosu Castle, where Nobutomo was, and kills him. Nobunaga then moves his seat of power to Kiyosu Castle. Once in Kiyosu Castle, Nobunaga was considered the new lord of the Owari province. From there, he proceeded to eliminate any and all opposition to his rule, and by 1560, he controlled the entire province. In 1560, Imagawa Yoshimoto invades the Owari province and threatened the rule of Oda Nobunaga. He possessed a vast army, with some claims that it numbered in the 30,000 mark. Nobunaga would not allow this invasion to continue and organized a counterattack. However, he was outnumbered nearly 10 to 1. Even in the face of such odds, Nobunaga was fearless when facing his enemy. His tactic was that he never faced them on open ground. He employed guerrilla tactics to slowly pick away at his enemy until he finally made a final nighttime surprise attack on the Inagawa camp. Once the main force of the army was defeated, the rest of the army quickly surrendered and joined the army under the command of Nobunaga. This is what was known as the Battle of Okazahazama. Once in control of the enemy forces, Nobunaga's strength became even greater. He set his sights on unifying all of Japan under the rule of the emperor, with him as the shogun. In 1570, Nobunaga combined his army with that of Tokugawa Ieyasu, one of his disciples, to defeat the force of Asakura Yoshikage, lord of the Echizen province, and Azai Nagasama, who was a master of northern Omi. He fights them at the Battle of Inagawa. Both these men were very strong enemies, and Nobunaga's fierceness demanded their defeat. There is a saying attributed to Nobunaga: "I will kill the cuckoo if it does not sing." After he defeated the two lords, he took control of their territories. Nobunaga then set his sights on Kyoto. In 1573, he raided the shogun's mansion at Nijo in Kyoto, then drove the shogun himself, Takeda Shingen, from Kyoto. Nobunaga was now the ruler of virtually all of Japan. He would not easily keep his rule, however. 2 years after his raid on Kyoto, Takeda Katsuyori attacked Kyoto. Nobunaga again joined forces with Tokugawa Ieyasu to defeat Katsuyori at the Battle of Nagashima. He was once again the supreme shogun. He decided to stay in Kyoto and would continue to act upon his ambition to unify Japan through his disciples Tokugawa Ieyasu and Toyotomi Hideyoshi. In 1576, he commissioned Toyotomi Hideyoshi to conquer the Mori clan in the Chugoku area. This campaign would last for 6 years without no absolute success. In 1582, Tokugawa Ieyasu went to visit Nobunaga at Azuchi Castle in Kyoto. Nobunaga assigns Akechi Mitsuhide in charge of the welcoming committee, but Mitsuhide's welcome is deemed inadequate, and Nobunaga dismisses him from Kyoto. Nobunaga then decides to go visit Hideyoshi at Chugoku. He stays near to Chugoku at the Honnoji temple. Mitsuhide, having been shamed by Nobunaga, decides to exact his revenge on the resting Nobunaga. He surrounds the temple and sets it ablaze. A great battle ensues, but ultimately Nobunaga realizes he cannot win. He makes the decision to end his own life within the blazing temple. He never saw his dream of a unified Japan. Toyotomi Hideyoshi and Tokugawa Ieyasu picked up where Nobunaga left off and completed the unification of Japan after establishing the Tokugawa shogunate. Even after his death, Nobunaga was remembered as a great ruler. He wanted to keep the spread of Buddhism in check and decided to protect Christians that were being persecuted in Japan. Nobunaga also believed that the only worship that should ultimately occur in Japan was worship to the emperor. He also encouraged free market practices instead of guild so that the people would not starve. The legacy of Oda Nobunaga lives on. He has been portrayed in countless mediums, including books, anime, manga, and video games. Perhaps the most well-known samurai in all of Japan, it is highly unlikely the world will soon forget the name Oda Nobunaga.